Next, we're going to talk about the 5 touches to the hostess. 5 touches to your hostess. If you will commit to doing these, then all the hard work that you put forth to pick up the phone and use your verbiage and offer this gift and get the date and all the hard things that you did, you don't want them canceling. How many times, you feel like, oh, I had 5 activities for March and they all canceled, right? Well, on my team, we have a no cancellation zone, okay? There are no cancellations. You can turn it into a one-on-one or you can reschedule it. That's the only 2 options that there are once someone books. And the reason I can do that is because I gave them 35% off, didn't I? And I let them pick a free product out that I'm going to take to their get-together. And so I have something that I gifted them. And so when they call and say, oh, I'm going to have to cancel, I'm going to be very assertive, and I'm going to protect that 3 hours that I scheduled away from my family. This is where your mama bear comes out. Oh, no, you didn't, right? You want 3 more hours? Okay? It's tomorrow. I can't schedule going to the zoo or going on a date. That 3 hours was already scheduled. So this is where your mama bear comes out in a nice way, but assertive way. Ladies, assert yourselves for what you need. Assert yourselves to keep the activity you work for. Assert yourselves to reach your goals, to make this happen. That's why you started this, not to be wishy-washy. So assert yourself, and the verbiage is all right here. So the first touch that you're going to have is if you book a party at the party or a presentation at the presentation. I'm trying to get out of the habit of calling mine parties. You give the future hostess a catalog and this form letter that you're going to go over, right? Go over the fact they're going to get more people there, that it's not a shopping party. Spend 2 or 3 minutes coaching your hostess. That's what we just went over. That is touch number 1. Within touch number 1, the second paragraph still under number 1, if you book a party over the phone and the hostess is local to you, that's when you're going to set up a time to drop off the catalog. That same form and maybe some samples. Again, you're going to spend 2 to 3 minutes coaching them on that, eyeball to eyeball, and spend some time there, okay? The second touch, the same day or the very next day that you book that presentation, you want to send them a personal thank you. Go home and write a personal thank you to them. And that is not just to check off your list. And don't just write, thanks so much for the chance to share, love Tracy. What we want you to do is make it personal. Right here, an example would be, thank you so much for this opportunity to share these great products and to meet new people for my business. Then you put your why in this thank you note. My family and I are doing this business to get out of debt so I can stay home. Whatever your reason is. So we, your family, we appreciate your help in having this get together. I promise you and your guests will have fun. I'm committed to doing everything that I can, and I look forward to seeing you. So the important part is putting your why in there. So maybe, just maybe, when she's thinking about rescheduling or canceling or blowing it off, she's going to think about, this is really important to her, and this really does have a purpose, and I am really helping this person do something, okay? There's more than just buying products here if you put your heart and your family and your why in that thank you card. Number 3, the same day or within 3 days, send your hostess the invitation or the flyer and the paragraph that is at the back of this. If you don't have this paragraph in a file in your computer, you need to, you can either type it out and then from then on just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, okay? But you want to make sure that you get that flyer out. I don't recommend that you time it on your calendar like 2 weeks before you're going to send it because you're going to forget. What I like to do is at the beginning of the month, I just send all mine out. It takes about 30 minutes because you've got a template and all you're changing is the hostess name, hostess time, date, and then sending it on, okay? And then you've got the next one. Change it to her, time, date, cell phone, send that one on. Then you've got them all sent out, right? All done. Check. Hostess touch number 4, done. Or number 3, done. So that flyer, that invitation, make sure that that is informative and it has the paragraph attached. What does that paragraph say? Well, I'm not going to read it for you it says the same thing that you just said to them face to face, basically. So now they're going to hopefully read it. They've heard it. Now they've got it in writing. It says the same thing. It's not a shopping party. Make sure they know we're taking the makeup off. Those kind of things, okay? And you can personalize that a little bit. Number 4, this is the most important touch. The most important touch. About 4 days before the party, call your hostess and ask her these questions. This is the one that you prepared her for, right? And I don't know if you've discovered this or not, but we learned this at a convention or in our GCC last year, actually. Gen Y people, so younger people, they actually think it's offensive to answer the phone. Okay, they do not like to answer the phone, and I'm actually kind of slipping back in that way. Sometimes if people call me, I'm like, leave me a message, then I can figure out what the problem is, and I can text you or call you back because it's faster. And I hate doing that, and I'm trying not to do that, but people sometimes don't want to answer your phone call. So preparing them to answer the phone call and then following through and doing what you said you were going to do, calling, you'll have better luck with that. When she answered the phone, you want to find out how many guests are coming, yes, but you also, this is where you may need to help them, okay? So if you, she answers the phone and I say, hey Christine, I'm just calling this is that 4 days before call I told you about. So how many guests do you think you have confirmed? And Christine at that point is going to give me she's going to go 1 of 2 directions, right? She's going to go the direction of, oh my gosh, it's, everybody, 6 people are coming. All the people I invited, they're all able to come. It's great. They're looking forward to it. So your first inclination is like, yes, party, awesome, right? But you still want, not to be cynical, but you still want to ask this good question and say, that's awesome. Were you able to personally call them or ask them face to face and tell them exactly what it really is and not a shopping party? And that's when she might say, oh, well, they were all on Facebook. It was a Facebook event. They all said they were coming to Facebook. And that's where you're going to have to assert yourself and say, okay, that's great, but I still recommend that you personally call them and tell them, and tell them what your why is. Tell them why you're doing this, okay? Because we all know that people can click yes on Facebook, or they can click, yeah, I'll be there on text. So impersonal that they may or may not really plan on being there. And then it's not going to turn out the way you think. Raise your hand if you're a seasoned